So don't you think the modeling business has changed so much since I mean,
Yes.
because I used to model also, I was with Premier and Linden, and it was so different now. I don't think they even pay you as well anymore.
No, they don't pay you as well, but, at least now, like, I think, girls are e okay, there's this weird thing that I heard some years ago from a model that came in from New York, and I was shooting her, and she said that what they have to do is they have to okay,
No.
Paris. No, I'm gonna
What?
have to tell you no,
I'm trying to turn
this
this
is
off.
just crazy,
Okay.
alright?
Yeah.
What they
Oh
do
God. I
what
don't
they
even
do
know.
is they rent they set up models in a model apartment, okay? But they're very expensive, and in order for the models to be able to pay for their monthly rent,
Yeah.
they have to go to nightclubs 2 to 3 times
Oh
a week.
God. What does that have
So,
to do with
I know with
modeling?
modeling where you're supposed to look
Wait, I
healthy
this
and
you don't
clean.
you guys look so cute right now. I can't even stand it. So I'm gonna have to take a photo of you. You're gonna love this.
But
Okay,
what
so no,
yeah,
wait, you have
you
to go to a nightclub and
you
do bottle or just hang
no,
out?
just hang out,
You have to go to a
but imagine
nightclub.
if you're hanging out, after a while, if you're young, you're gonna start drinking, you're gonna
What
sorry,
the
my voice is getting
hell?
like high, I'm
Who
getting so
told you this?
passionate
The girl
excited
that
about it.
some models are.
An actual model
Oh
and the
my
girl who told
god.
me her boyfriend was actually one that made money off of it like this, so she actually knew for sure because that's how her
What are
boyfriend made
the I don't
money.
even know what agencies are here anymore. It doesn't even seem like I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on in
Well,
LA. It
the
doesn't.
I don't know about LA. Well, I know Elite's still here somewhere because Georgia, has been working with them forever. A lady named Georgia, that used to be a model as well. But I don't know, actually, to tell you the truth. People come up to me and they want to talk about fashion and things like that, and I'm like, oh, and I smile. I just like put on that
I
smile. I'm
know.
like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you really love that. The other day at the pop up, somebody was talking about Dolce Gabbana. I'm like, I hate Dolce Gabbana, and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because it's like a pussy on a string, like, I don't like it, like, I'm not into it." And then they're like, "Oh, okay, what about Tom Ford?" And I'm like, "Huh." And he's like,
Oh gosh.
I work for Tom."
Who are you
No,
talking
no,
to?
sweet guy, really, really, we had gotten along so well, but he says, "I work for Tom Ford." And he goes, "He wasn't nice to you when you went to see him?" I'm like, "No, right after Gucci died, he was actually kind of a jerk when I went to see him." So, like, when people wanna come up and gush about modeling, it's like, when you've actually been in the industry and you see how, like, how it is and how
Yeah.
people are, it's like you kinda just don't wanna go back there.
I know, but I only did it for a little while because I was having more fun running around with my ex-boyfriend, but I mean, I think it was like there 2 or 3 years in London, but Premier it was very very I didn't have any weird experiences during my time, and I was actually it was when all the ethnic look came in, so I was, like, running around on castings with Cindy Crawford and Naomi Campbell, and I would see Gail Elliott and Yasmin
Yeah,
Laban and
that
all
was
the
around the same
dark-haired
yeah,
girls
that
there, and
was
I was always like, "Oh my
what year
god, I'm
was
never
that?
gonna get this."
What year were you
Oh
there?
god, in the late '80s, like, early
Late
'90s. Like,
so that
it
was me,
was
you were there at the same time as I
mhm,
was. I
I was
got
in
there in
London, and I
87,
don't know, I
88.
think London was I never felt like in a awkward position, but I knew I heard stories about things, you
Guess
know?
because London was very
Yeah, it
conservative.
was, I mean,
Yeah.
I felt very safe, you know, you
Try going into Italy, Spain,
no.
and
Yeah, no,
France, to the Latin
I
countries.
wasn't really spending any time there, just mainly
Nobody
London.
did anything bad to me in Germany. I mean, I
Yeah.
was a year in Germany without molestation, but in the other ones, it's just part of the culture,
It's so awful, isn't it? I think it's
Okay,
still
I
that
have to tell
way,
you
they're
a
just more
funny story.
cautious.
Okay, I have to tell you a funny
Okay,
story.
I love funny
So
stories.
when I was in Italy, um, when I first got there,
Yeah.
right, I didn't have any money, right? And I was with an agency and it was fine, but they wanted me to like go dance for dollars outside,
Oh, Lord.
which dance for dollars outside means like you go to a club like 30 minutes outside and you just go and dance so that the old men, because it's just old men at clubs, right? It
This
was so
sounds
disgusting.
terrible.
That's why I left and went to Spain. But that's not the thing. So when I was so hungry, I
Okay.
was so hungry because I didn't have any money, right?
Oh,
Yeah, and I wasn't
I
working,
remember those
right?
days.
Right. So there was this club Hollywood, right? And they
Mhm.
had pizza nights every Sunday. In
No, I
Italy, you
never
didn't
heard
go
of
to Italy,
this.
but it was my friend Massimo Ferrari, and he had pizza nights every Sunday. But
I'd still go to
ri-
pizza night every Sunday if you tell me
right,
where to go here
right.
in LA.
I
Yeah, I
wish I
love
went
pizza.
pizza night, and
Pizza's the
so
best.
and so couldn't even afford to get to the pizza night. So I would stand on the corner where the transvestites
Oh,
would
God.
where the back then they
Yeah.
were called transvestites, so now they're transsexuals, but
Are
those were
they?
like the
Why
transvestites,
don't say transvestite? I think they're transvestites still.
they were transvestiti in Italian, that's what they called themselves. "I'm a
Oh, I like that.
transvestiti."
Transvestiti.
Yeah, and so anyway, I would stand where they would go to get hookups, and I would stand there and I would wait until, like, 2 young boys came around the piazza, and I'd be like, "Hey, you wanna get into Club Hollywood?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And I'd be like, "Great." And I knew they couldn't get in without me, and they knew they
Yeah.
couldn't get in without me, so I knew I was safe. And so then therefore they would take me to the club and I'd get them in. I wouldn't, I wouldn't talk to them after I get in. Like, "There you go. I got you in. Have a nice
Go to
time.
eat pizza, leave me
Yeah,
alone.
peace out,
Yeah, how
I
would
need
you
my
get home?
pizza." And then I would just, somebody at the pizza would, end up getting me home. But
Wow.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
so that was kind of the things you had to do just to
Yeah,
kind of survive.
when I first moved to New York and I was just before I went to London, I was so broke and I remember I was just telling this to my son the other day. I would eat a bagel. There was a little coffee shop by where I was staying, and I could get a bagel and cream
Mhm.
cheese and a cup of coffee for like three
In New
dollars or
York?
something. Yeah,
Yeah, me
and that's
too.
all I ate
Me too.
the whole
Me
day.
too.
That's my
I
budget,
could
three
do I
dollars.
would do I would do 2 bagels if I
Yeah,
was
now if you get that, it's like $60.
Oh, no.
If you
Oh,
get two
no.
bagels in
I could
LA,
get
it's
away with, like
$30 a
I could get
bagel.
away with, like, $5 a day or whatever, 2.50
Yeah,
a
I was
bagel.
always so
Yeah.
hungry, and like if I really wanted to splurge and give myself a treat, I'd get like a Yoo-hoo.
But, that's the first time I ever had macrobiotic food, and it was the worst ever in my life. I was a vegetarian at the time,
Uh,
but I moved to New York, and there was this tiny little tiny little, like, almost the size of a closet,
yeah.
shop. It was a little macrobiotic shop, and they put no sugar in their cookies. Man, I would suffer thinking I was being healthy, and it was so gross, I wanted to throw up, right? And just because there was no sugar, right? And I live on sugar, so that was just like, man, that
I
was not
know,
working
I
with
know,
me.
so it's kinda yeah, I think a lot of like, a lot of women can feel our pain with
Yeah.
the days of not having many and starving and
Yeah.
modeling and,
Yeah, and then people are like, "Why are you so thin?" It's like,
"Oh, I don't have
"Bitch,
any
maybe I
money."
can't
Yeah.
afford any food." Like, do I come up and ask you why you're so fat? Like, give me a break, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you're
no.
still so thin, you're just not you have
I
just
still get that
you're
comment all the
still
time.
yeah, you're still so thin, but you're just naturally thin, and your kids
Yeah.
are like, you guys all have
Like,
the same
I
build.
would have to eat, like, 2 to 3 hamburgers a day in order to, like, look like a normal,
I know, I
woman with,
love
like,
that you love
weight
to
on
eat
me.
hamburgers. I've
Yeah.
gone and she can put a burger away,
I'll have a
and
heart attack before you, but yeah.
I know you get well, no, you
Yeah.
won't. Nobody's gonna have a
Let's
heart
hope not.
attack.
It's the Paris Chong Show.